I'm joined by Andrea Suarez, CEO of We Heart Seattle. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Hannah.
I know you do a lot of work on the front lines. We Heart Seattle has been around now, what, 5 years, a lot of experience. So from your perspective, what do you think is the biggest hurdle in making a difference in homelessness in Seattle right now?
Well, first and foremost, we have a drug epidemic. I'm working with the population of people that are in the headlines, right? The people living in parks, on our sidewalks, under bridges, in RVs, and we go out and provide trash removal or trash waste management as a form of kind of harm reduction, as a way to get into the front door and find out what services they need. And the population, what I call the crisis population, have untreated mental health and untreated drug addiction, and they're also there because of broken relationships. And so we try to figure out what their individual needs are and then triage them to the variety of services that we found throughout the region. And yeah, I hope to talk about some of those today, because there is hope for people that are ready for help.
Yeah, hope is big, and of course you haven't given up, but what do you think the city needs to do more of that they're not doing right now to actually make a dent here? Because we've been talking about homelessness for years and spent more than $1 billion, and it just seems like things are not letting up.
That's right. We've spent billions and the numbers are going up. The death toll is going up. Fentanyl is poison, and I think we need to start talking about what the problem is. This is poison that is taking the lives of our loved ones and our children. I have mothers calling me looking for their children, who've lost their children, that want to know what happened and why they continue to fall through the cracks in the system. And I call Seattle, you know, crime is free in Seattle. You know, a young lady that lost her life just a couple weeks ago was last seen checking into a social service agency to get drug paraphernalia. We must stop the low-hanging fruit of enablement and stop handing out drug paraphernalia, and look towards treatment first and before housing. 5 years ago, we were like, oh, we'll just help people get into hotels and help people get into these various housing projects, only to see them back out on the streets again months or years later. So until we treat the addiction and treat the mental illness, we're going to have a revolving door. And please, today, I kind of am saying it here today for the first time, having just talked to some colleagues, we need to treat fentanyl like poison, like anthrax, like the disease of COVID, and find an emergent place for people to go and get well, because the current methods are killing our loved ones at a rapid rate. So we need real change real fast.
The treatment aspect is huge for you, because you're saying without the treatment almost first for a lot of the people who are chronically homeless, we're not going to make a difference in that area. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. If you don't treat the untreated mental health or the drug addiction first, and we just continue to put people into housing, the fox is in the hen house. How are you going to think about getting treatment when your drug dealer lives right next to you and your codependent drug use community is your neighbors? So treatment first, and organizations like Battlefield Addiction, Hope and Chance, partners like The More We Love, hundreds of housing throughout the state that people are unsung heroes, really. They're the recovery housing community that require you to go to treatment before housing, and then you live in community with your sober peers. That's where we're seeing the best outcome, is just go to a 3 to 7 day stabilization and then go into your housing community. More clean and sober housing is needed.
More clean and sober housing. Is there anything that is actually working right now very well? I know you mentioned an example there, but are there more?
Yes, I mean, we love Hope and Chance. We love the Salvation Army. You can go in for free, covered by state insurance, or for free. Many services, you can go in, you come in clean, or you can come in using, but you must commit to being clean. So there's a variety of solutions out there that we have access, and what we want the community to know, that there are places for people to go, but we need to require that they go in and stabilize at one of many treatment centers first. Ituha, Valley Cities, Royal, Alala, Prosperity, Providence, Fairfax, Smoky Point, Skagit, Whatcom. There are places for people to go to get off of drugs, go through what's called a medical detox first, and then we will triage you to a variety of homes throughout the state and region-wide. And our best outcome often is when we bring family back into the picture, family unification, which is why we work with Battlefield Addiction, where we help coach the families to integrate their loved one back into the community, and also not enable them, but learn how to love again and love in a clean and sober and trusting environment through counseling and coaching and transformative programming that helps a person reach self-sufficiency. We've helped hundreds of people through these types of programs on a private dime. So imagine if the government would just pivot a little bit and turn one of those tiny house villages into a clean and sober village, or one of those DESC housing projects that are always in the news with all the crime and all the 911 calls and all the overdose deaths. Turn one of those, just one of those, into a clean and sober house, so that when we put people through treatment, we have a place for them to go that's paid for by the government.
You're clearly very passionate about this topic, very important. Thank you for sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you for having me.